This is Jason from MPI. Today I'm going to be going over some basics to get you started with your new POS software, ePOS Now. We're going to begin by getting you logged into your back office. I recommend that you access the back office from a web browser on your laptop or desktop using Google Chrome. Of course, you'll use the eposnowhq.com domain, and you will be brought to this login landing page. From here, you'll be able to use either your username or email address with the given password to gain access to your account. From here, you're going to be selecting login, and you will immediately land on the home page of the back office. I am now going to be going into a starter guide for creating a product inside of the back office. From the back office navigation screen on the left-hand side, you're going to be selecting Manage. You are automatically going to be brought to your product screen. From here, you have a couple options to search by the product, name, barcode, supplier, or SKU number. You also have the ability to filter by a specific category. And if you have product groups, you could filter by the product groups. Down below, by left-clicking and scrolling over, you will be able to see all the details of your product, as you can see by the headers here. Name, description, your cost prices, your tax rates, all the details that you set up will be displayed in this screen here. I am now going to move into creating a product, a brand new product. I'm going to be selecting Add Product on the top right-hand side of the screen. From here, we're going to be putting in a name of the product as well as a description. The name will show as it appears on the till, and the description will be what is on the customer's receipt. You also have the ability to select a product type, whether to make it a standard product, a measured product, configured in the following schemes here, as well as a weighed product within the following schemes. Going to be using a standard product as the creation today. Going to be entering in my cost price, as well as my sale price. And as you'll notice, it says excluding tax. So of course, cost and sale price excluding the tax. And your tax rate box for you to pre-fill out this drop-down menu for your tax rate. I'm going to be selecting a 6% sales tax today. You also have the ability to make a product tax exempt or EBT eligible by checking off this box here. If there are any container fees associated with the product, you have the ability to assign it. Gaining loyalty points for this product. If you are enrolled in the loyalty program and you don't want a specific product to accumulate points at the time of each purchase, you can either select this on or off. Next two fields are cost price including tax as well as sale price including tax. The system automatically generates the tax amount based on the fields above, your cost and your sale, and if there is a tax rate associated with it. If you would like to make the product a variable price where the price is set on the till upon sale, you have the ability to check this box off here. The system will also calculate your margin percentage based on your cost and your sale prices. If you have a recommended retail price to enter in, you can fill in this field below here. Your product's barcode. If you have a barcode scanner, USB barcode scanner, preferably plugged into your desktop or laptop, you have the ability to highlight inside of this field, scan that product, and the barcode will generate in that field. Or you can enter the product's barcode in manually using your keyboard. If this is a custom product and a barcode needs to be generated from scratch and printed out on a label printer, you have the ability to select Generate New Barcode. It will automatically generate a barcode sequence for you. Category. This is, of course, where you're going to assign your category, where this product is going to be housed in. As you can see, I have quite a few category options here, but for today, we're going to be creating a category right from scratch using this select or create category button. From here, it'll automatically take you to the category creation screen. From here, I'm going to be creating a category. I'm going to be titling it Soda Pop, as well as the description. You also have the ability to add a image to these product categories. Of course, it does have some requirements as far as pixel size and the formatting of it, as well as the overall size of the file. From here, you can also assign the parent categories. So the parent and child example of the parent to Soda Pop would be Crushes. That is where you can customize that. Top level means that it'll just sit outside in its own category itself. Reporting category, if I would like Soda Pop to report to any specific category, you have the ability to select it here. Order printer display. This will be for categories that are tied into a kitchen printer. These products that are inside of this category need to hit the kitchen printer for the staff. You have the ability to select from these drop downs here. These will be pre-configured for you if this is the line of business. Coursing, if you need to set a category up to be a starter, a main, a dessert, or even drinks, you have the ability to do so here. Filter these between a wet and a dry category, selecting the drop down and selecting wet or dry. If you would like to customize the color of the category to have it stand out versus the others, here are the pre-configured color options that you have. I'll be selecting a light red today. Till order, position the category as it appears on the till. If I would like Soda Pop to be number 1 on my screen, I'm going to be selecting number 1. If you have a nominal code used for accounting purposes to add inside of this category, please fill out that field. Showing on the till, if you have this selected, of course, the category will display on your till screen for you to tap and manually scroll through the products that are housed inside of that category. If the specific category houses a lot of products that are primarily barcode based and you don't want things clogging up your screen, you can deselect Show on Till. Everything will still be active on the front till for you to be able to scan, to be able to search, but it'll also clear up some space for you visually. If you would like to associate a pop-up note anytime this category is selected or a product is scanned inside of this category, you can select the check ID. A nice little message will come up and ask you to please check the individual's identification at the time of sale. For today's example, I'm not going to be utilizing this. From here, I can select Add, and it will automatically create that category for me. Or I can add another if I need to add multiple at one time. I'm going to be selecting Add. And once I've created the category, it is going to bring me right back to my product creation screen. All of my information is still here. But now I can utilize this. And I can locate the category that I just created, Soda Pop. Same thing applies for brands as well as suppliers. If you've already imported your brand or supplier list, of course, you can select it from the drop-down screen here. If this is a brand new brand or supplier, you can utilize the same menu, create brand, or create supplier. Product group creation. Once again, if you need to group specific products, dinner, desserts, drinks, and you need to utilize them in that fashion in a product group, same thing will apply. Product order code. If you have the reference to your supplier for the product's order code, this will help with purchase orders. Please fill this information in if you do have it. Article code, used for accounting purposes. If you have this information, you are more than welcome to fill it in this field here. Unit of sale, primarily for master products, as it shows in the description here, minimum measurement in which the product is used, half pints in a barrel. So if you have a keg, and that is the master product, and the Coors Light is the child product of this equation, this is where you would configure how this product is measured and how it is going to properly deduct from that keg itself. Of course, you have all these measurement schemes here, and then the volume of sale associated with that. So if I was to use the example quite quickly of milliliters, and I typed in 4, so every time this product is purchased, 4 milliliters will come out of the master product's 500 milliliters of the keg. More in-depth guides for master products can be explained during your back office training. Button color, same as the category creation screen, where you can associate a specific color to a product versus a category. Pop-up note, once again, the same thing that applied in the category creation screen. Instead of having it pop up during the time of selecting the category, it could be when you individually select the product itself. Multiple choice notes. This is if you need to have multiple pop-up notes to be displayed for this product, specifically in the vein of a food product, milk, 2% whole milk, those specific options there. This can also be affiliated with modifiers. Once again, that can be addressed in a back office training. Product color. This is if this is related to clothing, shoes. If you need to associate this product with a specific color scheme, you can create that here, along with size and variance. So this product was a hoodie, and I selected the hoodie variant. It would automatically generate and create products for each size within that variant: small, medium, large, XL, as well as the proper color, and it would even generate a barcode for those variants as well. You have the ability to disable the color in the variant subcategory creation. So if you don't want that to occur, you can disable that. And if you also wanted to disable the auto-generate barcode for variants, you most certainly can, if that product has the same barcode, no matter the size. Till order, the same as the category creation screen, where you can set the orientation of specific products, either that's living just solely on the till screen or within inside of a category itself. I want this one to be number 1 or number 4 or number 5. Typically used for most sold products, you want them to be front and center, first option available for the clerk to be able to select. If you have a SKU string, you are more than welcome to enter this information in as well. Going to be skipping over the Magneto attribute set. The sell on till button, always checked off when creating a brand new product itself. If you ever need to, say, take that product off of the main till screen to be sold, you're out of stock, it's a seasonal item itself, you can deselect this and it will no longer be able to be scanned, search for on the front till screen. But of course, no matter what, you always want this toggled on. If you have any web-based integrations within the software, you can select sell on web. Add stock at a selected location. This is where you're going to add your stock count. I'm going to be adding 20 of these sodas. And you do need to assign it to a location. Typically, you're going to have one location on your account. I'm going to be selecting the one that I mainly use, which is MPI Convenience and Liquors. It's also going to ask you to select a username. Who is adding this stock number to this product? I'm going to be selecting manager today. If there's any specific tags that need to be associated with it, as you can see, I have quite a few here, mostly associated with country, cheese, anything like that, any kind of custom identifier you need for this product, you're more than welcome to do so. WooCommerce, we will not be addressing. This will be a separate feature and a more advanced guide. From here, you have the same ability to add this singular product at this time, or if you need to rifle off multiple, you can select add another, and it would bring you to a fresh product creation screen. I'm going to be selecting add. And now my product has made its way to the product list. Once again, by holding left click and moving your mouse over to the left-hand side, you'll be able to see all the information that you just entered in. Here, lastly, is the ability to archive a product. So there is an archive product screen that you'll be able to navigate through. This can also apply to that seasonal example that I provided just a few moments ago. And the red X for the deletion of this product, if this product is no longer needed. Simply tapping on the red X will permanently delete this product. This portion of the guide is going to be covering purchase orders. Of course, this ties into your supplier list. As long as you have your suppliers imported or entered in manually to the software in the supplier screen located right here, you will be able to create purchase orders. Starting on this purchase order screen, you can search for any active purchase orders that are available. You can do from a date range. If you need to do purchase orders for the month of July, you have the ability to select the calendar here and use the filtering options. You have a couple different options also to filter by location area, location, supplier, as well as excluding and including tax. If you have these purchase orders printed on a physical sheet of paper, or if you'd like to reference them just by searching the name of the purchase order by the supplier, by the code itself, you have the ability to do so here. If you have the physical piece of paper printed out with the purchase order's barcode on it, you can plug your 2D scanner into your desktop or laptop to easily scan that barcode and search in this field here, or this can also be accessed from the till itself. Filtering by the status can be done as well. So you have the all orders by default, and then if you just wanted to filter it by just received, just canceled, or even partially received, you have the ability to do so. I'm now going to be doing an add purchase order. Your first field for selection here is the expected delivery date. For today's example, my expected delivery date is going to be 7/31. Your cancellation date is when you would like this purchase order to be canceled if this product is not received, of course, by its delivery date. So as soon as 8/1 hits and I don't move my purchase order into a received status, the system will automatically cancel it based on this preference here. And it will also notify your supplier if their contact information is entered in, preferably email. It will notify them via email saying this order was not received by this date and it is now canceled. The stock is being delivered to MPI Convenience and Liquors for today's example, as well as ordered by. You select a staff member. I selected manager. You have the ability to find your supplier, search them by name, located in that field there. There is a grayed out tick box right here. Show products with less than minimum stock. So any products by default that are below their minimum stock level, they will appear in the list automatically here. If there is nothing within a minimum stock level, this is just a normal purchase order. You just want to re-up to be on the safe side. Show all suppliers and stock track products. I'm selecting this box now. All of my supplier list has now appeared. With the product soda that we just created in the first example, it is assigned to the Coca-Cola supplier. I am going to select Show Products. You will then need to scroll down to the bottom of your screen. It will now have all of your products associated with this supplier located down below here. If there are any products that don't have stock associated with the supplier yet, you can select Show All Non-Stock Track Products, and that will appear in this list as well. Based order quantity on previous sales instead of minimum max stock levels, you can have that selected as well. You can do it on a weekly basis. If the list, of course, is long with products inside this given supplier and you need to search for a specific one, you can search by name, barcode, and order code. Please keep in mind for purchase orders, it is by supplier basis. 2 suppliers cannot be added on a singular purchase order. If there are multiple categories with products affiliated with this supplier, you have the ability to search right here. And now you have some product information. You have your product. If you have the order code or the SKU number entered into your product's details, that will display here. It has my barcode. It has what I currently have in stock, current volume, if it's a master product or a weighted product that has volume tied to it, that will display there. Your minimum stock and your maximum stock levels. This is if you decided to set this up in the advanced section of the stock control. That is touched on in a more advanced guide. If there is anything already on order for this product, so if there is a previous purchase order that may not have been received or is just out in the ether still, you'll be able to see what's on order for this. And then, of course, the most important field is to order. How many am I ordering of this product? I'm going to be ordering an additional 15 of this soda. Left clicking and moving your mouse over to the left-hand side will expand this a little bit. Cost per item, including and excluding tax. So it'll give you that nice little breakdown there, as well as your selling price, and then your total. So what it would cost you excluding tax, as well as including tax based on the tax rate that is assigned to it. So this is just overall your product details, gives you a nice little snapshot of what you're ordering, how much it's going to cost you. If there's any notes specifically that needed to be added, 5 need to be Coke and 10 Sprite. This is just going to be a general note to your supplier to let them know, hey, I need 5 of these to be Coca-Cola and 10 Sprite. You have the ability to look up a stock report in real time if you're just unsure about what you need to order, or if any of these numbers are blank here that you did not set up. You could save this order as a draft if you're not done yet, if you need to do some inventory checking. Now you can either generate the order itself, and then you can notify the supplier on your own, or if you have the supplier's information inside of the software, generate order and email. From here, it'll generate the order, and this will be where you could send the email to. And you could save the email address to the supplier, say if you forgot to enter one in. It'll also let you know where this is sending from. So if you ever need to switch this information in on the fly, you're more than welcome to. You could change the message subject, send a copy to your inbox. If there's any additional text that you need to include inside of the purchase order, you can fill that in this field here. And then it will just give you an overall snapshot of what the purchase order will look like when it's sent to not only yourself, but to the supplier. I'm going to be hitting send. Of course, I'm going to be leaving this blank. That is an error you'll receive if you do not include the email address. It will still generate the order. It will not cancel it out, but you'll just need to double back and resend it via email with the supplier's information. And then once again, the internal purchase order information, this is what you will utilize to receive this order. Lastly, you have 2 abilities to edit and receive. If you ever need to edit this order on the fly, even post its creation, you have the ability to do so. You can also get right into the receivable process by selecting receive and say I only received 10 out of the 15. On order is 15, to orders 15, but all I received was 10. Still gives you the overall breakdown, but then of course your total cost. Please ensure that you're selecting a staff member by received by. and hitting receive. Now I'm going to move into creating a staff member. Navigating into the Manage tab under the Staff subcategory, there is going to be Staff. From here, you'll see already created staff members. To add a new staff member, hit Add Staff. Select the name. What location this is going to be located in. Typically, you'll just need to assign one location. If you have multiple, you'll be able to select from that dropdown. Or you can have the staff member just show at all locations by default versus getting specific. Selecting the role of the staff member. Passcode. You can leave it blank if you do not want a passcode for this individual, or you can enter the passcode in here. Minimum of 4 digits inside of this field. Swipe login. This is if you have the external card swipers on your till to allow swipe logins for any staff member. Hourly rate, if you're using the software to track payroll, you can enter in the hourly rate of the staff member, as well as their job code, once again for payroll purposes. And if this staff member can sell to all ages. This is if you have any sort of pop-up notes created in the back end and you want them to have the ability to sell within an age range based on the business and the products that you're selling. From there, you're going to be selecting Save. And now my staff member is created. Now in the creation of staff roles. Staff roles, here you see the pre-existing staff roles here, but we're going to be adding one from scratch, hitting Add Roles. Giving this a name. I'm going to be naming it Test. From here, it's a checkbox selection of access on the till. From here, you're going to start with the first Allow Till Access. That's going to be the first one here. The till has a couple of subcategories that you'll notice in the next part of the training. Show admin options. You'll be able to go through and select all the options that pertain to the access of the admin. The main ones that I always tell to select is allow admin access, allow till setting access, and allow till closing. These are quite important for any level of staff member when created in the system. You want them to have the ability to gain access to their end of day closing and select any settings as well. The rest of these are optional based on the access of the employee. Same thing with show till stock options. If you want to allow the staff member to have any stock related authorities. Till transaction options, transaction related authorities such as holding, deletes, voids, payouts, clearings, table plannings, etc. Typically, these are all selected on. This example, I'm going to be selecting just a few. Discount options, you do have the ability to limit the amount of discounts, the amount of basket discounts, and the amount of refunds that can be conducted by a staff member. Item discounts, of course, individual item discounts, you could set a limitation and a limitation percentage to that. A full basket discount, discounting the entire transaction itself. Once again, you can limit the amount that they can conduct in a given shift, as well as the percentage limitation that they can do. You can also set a refund limit. But of course, by selecting these and not displaying any options in these fields here, it's going to give them unprecedented access to these features. Customer options, if you do have a customer database and you want your staff to be able to access that customer database to assign them to the transaction, to allow point gain or spend any credits. By default, we usually do select till customer and allow manual customer selection. Allow editing customer points is optional. But from here, our staff member role of test, all of my options are selected. I'm going to be selecting add. And now my test staff role is there. Now we're going to be moving into training on the front till. From the back office in your till application, you're going to navigate to the left-hand side here and locate till. From there, the till will begin to load. And then you will be met at your landing page to select a username. From here, you'll be able to select your username. If you're going to be using the clock in and clock out feature within the software, at the top left-hand side of the screen, you'll notice it'll highlight solid blue. Now the clock in, clock out options are available. You will then select your username. To know that you've selected a username is the blue border around the name. You're going to be entering your password. For today's example, my manager username does not have a password, but I'm going to clock in for this staff member. It is now going to provide you with a clock in report. Either you can select done, but from your actual till device, if you wanted to have the individual print that out, they can do so. I'm going to be selecting done, and now a timer will display underneath that staff member's name. And once you log in, that timer will begin. Now I'm going to be logging in for the day. Once again, I'm going to be highlighting on the staff member I'm going to be logging in under, and I'm going to be hitting login. If you have the 4-digit PIN code, you would select it in this keypad here, and then select login. At the start of your day, a float amount will need to be entered in here if you have a starting amount in the drawer. For today's example, I'm going to be putting $200 inside of the drawer and opening the till. You will then be brought into your main cell screen. This is where all of your categories are located in solid blue background tiles. If I select into a category, this is an example of subcategories. And then selecting inside of the category itself are your products. Products are solid white tiles. That is the differentiator for this. You then select home to get back to your main screen. From here, you'll be able to select your products either by scanning them, manually searching for them here. So if I wanted to type in burger, it's going to give you all the searchable options for that prompt that you just put in there. All I did was search burger, and now any products associated with burger in the name will display. To very quickly touch on the left-hand side panel, you have your admin, your print, your stock, applications if you have any third-party integrations available, and then of course you have your Cloud Sync button. The Cloud Sync button will allow you to sync any new data that you've entered in. That's products, categories, supplier information. Any of that data that was entered into the back office will sync automatically when you log into the till for the first time. If this is happening throughout the shift, you can go ahead and sync it manually here. Now that everything has been synced up, the soda pop category and the soda product that we created is now here. I'm now going to be going through how to complete a sale for a product. I'm going to be selecting my category, and I'm going to be selecting my product. The product has now made its way inside of the cart or basket, and here you have a couple of different options. You have the ability to delete the product if it was selected by mistake or incorrectly. You also have a quantity selector by using the plus or the minus. Minus is typically conducted if you're initiating a refund for a product. For this example, you can also click inside of the center box of the quantity, and it'll give you a keypad to enter in the quantity manually. So I'm going to do 25. You have the ability to attach a note to a product, whether that is located as a starter, main, dessert, or drink option if you're in the restaurant, or just a simple note that said, for Jason. And that's where the note will display right underneath the product itself. This will also display on the customer's copy of the receipt if there's any specific note on there. Price tag for a discount. If you've created discount reasons in the back office, you have the ability to select them from this drop down here. I'm going to be selecting the manager approved discount. You have a couple different options when you select a reason by default. You have the ability to discount by a specific percentage, discount by a specific amount, set an entirely new price, or in the back end, if you set a default value of percentage to be taken off for this reason, it will display here. As a manager approved discount, 0%, because I'm going to be completing these actions manually with the authority that I have. For the discount, I'm going to give it a percentage discount. I'm going to do a 5% discount. Once you select update, it's going to tell you discount applied, the amount that was taken off based on the percentage. If this was done in error, you do have the remove discount to start over. Or if this is accurate, you're going to hit done. To shift our attention down to the bottom is now I have the total number of items, which is 25. The total discount I was given at $2.50. My grand total of $50.35. That is what is due. And then my tax associated with the product. From here, you're going to be selecting pay. And now you have your keypad here. So of course, if they are paying cash, you have the ability to select the predetermined bills, 5, 10, 20, or if they're going from $50.35 to give you $51, you can select those options there. Once again, it gives you the breakdown of what is due, what cash amount would be due. This is an example of cash discounting, the item discount, and then your tender types. Cash, gift card, credit card terminal, customer credit are my examples today. We're going to be paying this transaction in cash. So from there, by me selecting cash, I'm determining that they paid me $50.35 right on the money. I'm going to be completing another example of this sale. We're going to walk through the same steps. I'm going to make my quantity 20. Instead, I'm not going to be adding a discount here. I'm going to be selecting pay. And now I'm going to be using the keypad if they're giving me more than $42.40. They're not going to be giving me 43. They're going to be giving me a 50. I'm going to use this keypad here to select 50. And then I'm going to be selecting my cash. From there, a change due box will appear to give you a little bit of time to initiate the change for the customer, $7.60, based on what they've tendered you with. You can either click on this box to remove it if you know the change value, or you can let it go until the timer exceeds. I'm going to be completing one more sale, but under the credit card tender type. I am now going to do this. I'm going to ramp this up. I'm going to do 100. And now, same workflow applies. Ring in your product. You get it ready to pay for it. Going to hit credit card terminal. In the real-time example, the amount would display on your credit card terminal after selecting that tender type to allow the customer to swipe, insert, or tap. Now that the sale has been completed, I'm going to move forward with some examples of a sale with a customer assigned to it, as well as taking an order for a tabs and tables. I'm going to be selecting my soda product. I'm now going to navigate to the customer section up top here. From here, your customer database will automatically load. You have the ability to search by last name, first name, postal code, or any of this information here to find that customer if you have a large database, or by customer type if you're using the tiered system in the software. You also have the ability to add a new customer's profile right on the fly. An existing customer, you would just hit select. Their profile would automatically generate into the transaction. I'm going to add a new customer example for today. Maybe giving a first and a last name. All of these fields are not required to be filled out at the time of customer creation. You can keep this a very simple process by doing first name, last name, gathering a contact number and email address, or one or the other. I am just going to gather an email address. And I'm going to select add. Now you'll notice that the customer profile is now going to be assigned to this transaction. If you have the loyalty integration, it'll track all of your customer sales data based on whatever products and tender type that they use. So now I have 3 sodas with the customer profile of MPI test. I'm now going to settle out my transaction. We're going to be selecting cash. And the transaction will complete like normal, but now that history of the sale is attached to that customer profile. If the customer is associated with the loyalty program, they would have gained points off of that transaction. I'm now going to jump into an example of creating an order for a tabs and tables. Right here on the top right-hand side, I'm going to be selecting tabs and tables. I have a couple open as an example. As you can see, there's a duration of 7 days and 21 hours that this tab has been opened. So it will tell you in real time how long it's been opened. Today, I'm going to be selecting out of my available. So I'm going to be selecting number 4 as my available tab that I want to open. JSON test. If you would like to set a spend limit to this tab, you can by selecting this box and adding that amount in manually. For today's example, I am not going to be putting in a spend limit. You also have the ability to add a customer profile to this tab if needed, if they are looking to, once again, continue their point gain for the loyalty program, or just to have that sales data of that customer. I'm not going to be providing that in this example. I'm just going to be opening the tab as normal. JSON test. I'm now going to open up the tab. You'll now notice at the top of the screen, it says tab number 4. JSON test is the name under the tab. And now I'm going to be bringing in some products. I'm going to be using soda. I'm also going to be using, going to an example of bar food. We'll use a seafood platter. We'll use a hot dog. So now the order has been taken. And the next steps here, you want to, of course, place the order. You're not settling it out. So you'll locate down at the bottom of the screen, order/layaway. I selected order/layaway. Now the product overall has disappeared, as well as the tab name. If you navigate back to the tabs and tables screen here, that transaction has now opened, and here's your total amount here. If there are any food-related items, it'll tell you by the status that this drink was ordered. It is not tied to a kitchen printer, but the seafood platter and the hot dogs were sent to the kitchen to be made. So it tells you those statuses in real time after it's been done. If you need to resend the order, you can do so there. If you would like to move and merge the tab to another one, you can do so by, of course, it has it in a solid black background. I can then select a new tab. And by tapping on individual items, I could send them over. If I just want to send one over at a time, I can do that. Or I can select move all items. I'm going to cancel the move and merge of a tab. I can also update the name on the tab. So I'm going to remove test out. I'm just going to make it JSON. If you would like to have a little bit of organization within the tab screen, if you have an abundance of them open at one time, you have a couple options here. Sort by number is on by default. So of course it's going to go 1 through 40 is what I have here. If you select on this prompt again, it's going to select sort by name. So it's going to go in alphabetical order. You can deselect that and bring it back to its default state. Or if you just wanted to hide any of the availables and just show the opens, you could select show open tabs and it'll condense the list there for you. There are a couple headers up here as well if you have a table layout. So of course your tab screen will open by default. If you have a table layout set for multiple different areas within your business, as you can see here, I have a front-facing area of the restaurant with a couple of tables to be selected. They work in the same fashion as the tabs, only with covers instead. So you select the number of covers. You open up the table. It's going to tell you table bar based on the name that you've given it and the number of covers. I'm just going to select 3 sodas. And you're going to be utilizing the same process. You're going to be selecting order layaway. And when you navigate back to the tabs and table screen, you will now notice that the front bar section and that table is occupied by the soda order. You can have multiple areas with multiple table layouts. Shifting our attention back to the tab screen, I'm going to take another order for my tab. So of course, these items have already been sent to the kitchen and I've already gotten my beverage. I'm looking to get another soda. I'm going to select the tab. You'll notice that the block is now white background with a blue border. I'm going to hit take order. The system will automatically prompt you that this item has already been ordered. This will help prevent any duplicates to be sent back to the kitchen or for the bar staff that's conducting any drinks. I'm going to order another soda. From here, as you'll notice, I have my extra soda option here. Same steps, order layaway. Moving back into the screen now, my total has updated and it now has my second soda added. I'm getting ready to settle out for the evening. I'm pulling on my tab. I'm going to be selecting pay. And then from here, you'll be able to settle out the sale. So I'm going to be paying in cash. I'm providing $13. I selected $13. It's going to prompt in this field here. Going to be selecting cash. 75 cents change due. I'm going to hit confirm. And if I move myself back to the tabs and table screen here, tab number 4 has now been settled out, ready to be occupied if it is needed in any of these spaces. You can have up to over 100 tabs at one time in this section here. Just for this example, we have 40. I'm now going to be moving into closing your end of day. I selected the 3 lines at the top left-hand corner of the till. I'm going to be looking for the admin shield, and I'm going to be selecting close till. From here, it is going to give you a snapshot of your day as what you've took in, what your float amount is, and the total variance between the two numbers. Starting on the left-hand side of the screen, it's going to give you a nice checklist to go through at the end of each day. It'll tell you if you have any open orders. It'll tell you if you have any tables still open, as well as any tabs still open. You have the ability to select a view. It will take you to those given screens for you to settle out. Or if you need to keep anything open, you can. You have a couple quick key options here. You can print the receipt prior to actually closing out officially for the evening. You could pop your cash drawer. You can add a note to this end of day receipt. You can navigate to the completed transaction screen to see all of your completed sales prior to closing, as well as a history report. Moving over to the right-hand side is your cash up. This is where you're going to be balancing out your drawer at the end of the evening. Cash is your first tender type. It's telling you in your counted that you have $0 right now, but what you expected was $111.35. You've accounted your drawer. The numbers equal out. I'm then going to manually put in $111.35 to match these two numbers to bring our variance to a 0. Of course, fill out any of the remaining tender type fields to match accordingly. So for credit sales, 212. To bring our variance across the board for tender types to a green 0. You will notice that now your total variance up top has brought you back to your original float amount of negative $200. You get a subtotal snapshot, so it's letting you know that what you've counted and what the system is expected that you took in is now at a $0 variance, and your float. You have a float snapshot down below here that lets you know I opened with my opening balance, and I'm closing with that balance as well. You have a couple tabs to review sales in a little bit more of a detailed breakdown. This will also appear on your end of day receipt. Refunds, voids, tax breakdown, as well as a credit spent or purchased by your customers. From here, you will then select print and close. If you have any open orders, if you have any open tabs or tables, you will be met with this response here. If you know that these are going to be open for multiple days to be settled out, you can hit got it and move into the next screen. It will automatically print out of your till screen. You will not get this prompt there. And then you will get met with one last message that says, are you sure you wish to close this till? You can either hit cancel and redo your count, or you can hit close to settle out. The system will then close out the till and bring you back to your select username screen. This is where you can initiate the start of a new shift, or we can clock out for my shift for the day. Once again, clock out, clock in and out, selecting my username, and I'm going to be clocking out. Thank you for watching this guide. Let us know if you have any questions or concerns.